Hello and welcome to another episode of Solar Sidekicks. My name is Lauren Conti and I'm joined by Pat Southwell.
Hello, Lauren. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. We are recording on a Thursday, which is a little bit wild for us.
A little bit different, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm not used to, that's for sure.
Neither. And before we go, I'm going to try and acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, which is the... No, take it away,
Okay.
Pat.
You were very close. All right. We'll acknowledge the traditional landowners, which is the Boon Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation.
Yep.
And I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging.
Me too. I think it would just be more insulting if I stuff it up.
Yeah, I think it can. I think it's good to try, but sometimes I think if you get it wrong, I don't know, someone might think it's offensive, but I think it's good. It's good we're having a go. And that is right, though. The Boon Wurrung people, I have had that confirmed. Mm-hmm. So good stuff.
Yes.
All right. We have a guest today.
Yes, we do have a guest, and I am so excited. It is probably one of my favorite people in the industry. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. But I have the amazing John from GoodWe.
Hello. Lauren, I will pay you that $20 later.
20? Jeez.
Well, I gave her a 50 yesterday.
Got him on the payroll. No, I'm joking.
Welcome to the podcast, John.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. First time I met you, actually. So I think I might have met you at some, I don't know, probably some drunken drinks night or something like that. I don't know.
Look at it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know. First time I've met you probably. But welcome to the podcast. Appreciate you coming on. And we've got a lot to go through today.
Okay.
We've got a lot of questions for you, and we're interested in your journey, interested in how you got into solar and a lot of the stuff you're doing at GoodWe, which is really cool. I think some of the stuff you guys are doing are really cool. So I want to deep dive into a lot of that and see how it all goes. I suppose, first of all, you came on as a guest because you have a business relationship with Lauren already. So you guys want to let us know a little bit about that, how you guys have worked with each other before?
Yeah.
Over to you, Lauren.
Oh, gosh. How long have I been with Six Star for? I can't even remember now. But I feel like ever since I've been at Six Star, I've known you. Probably only started working really closely maybe the last 2 years, I would say.
I joined GoodWe in August 2021.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure we were communicating.
Yeah, I
fairly
think we
early on.
were, but I guess I wasn't really involved too much in the front end of the business. It's only maybe in the last 2.5 years. Probably been getting out there a lot more and doing a lot more of the front end, working with you and getting you involved in all of our projects as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, you support us and GoodWe supports us a lot. We use your product predominantly, so that's where that comes in. And then we also have access to really good marketing from all the houses and all the relationships we have, which also helps you with showcasing your product. So it's been good. Yeah.
And I think I kind of got in touch with you predominantly because I used to know your boss.
Yeah, there you go.
So when I was with Selectronic, I went to his house and we did a case study on his system.
There you go.
So yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's how I found out about Six Star.
There you go. Small world.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I want to mention something about GoodWe because this podcast, we generally don't have that many inverter manufacturers and that sort of stuff. Happy to make an exception for you, John, because it's also not, it's because of all the cool stuff that GoodWe do. We're going to get into that a little bit later. And I think it's really cool because, we don't want people on here just pushing their own products and all that sort of stuff and ramming you down our throats. I'm sure you're not going to do that today, John.
That's one of my pet hates. When you go to these conferences and you just get the hard sell, and it's death by PowerPoint. And I'm just like, come on, we're past that.
Yeah.
People just elevate yourselves a bit more and people see right through it.
All right. Well, I want to say something off the bat. So as far as an inspector goes, I would say GoodWe is probably, I'm not saying this to suck up either. GoodWe is probably my, when I see a GoodWe inverter, generally speaking, I'm quite happy because as far as the inspection goes, they're the easiest ones to inspect.
Oh,
okay.
They actually are. Yeah, they're the easiest. MC4 plugs are easy to access always. They're always easy to get out. I don't know if you've ever tried to get the, not that I don't even use MC4s. I think they use the Davalan ones, like in the grow watts and those type ones.
Yeah.
Impossible to take out.
Oh.
Yeah, GoodWe ones. You can do it with your fingers, or you can use a little orange tool. Nice and easy. Space between.
Yep.
Beautiful. Screen's easy. And they fix to the wall nice and easy. Like they're just a really simple product, which is, easy to inspect. Yeah. So from an inspector's point of view, you've got the tick.
That's good to hear.
We're telling Mike that. Mike would love that feedback.
Definitely. It's useful as well. It's good because if we don't get that feedback, then we can't improve.
Wouldn't usually get inspector feedback either. We give you a lot of installer feedback, and we often tell Mike and the lads in our group chat what's going wrong, or this keeps happening, that keeps happening, but inspect.
Look, I must say, that's like not necessarily GoodWe, but other inverter manufacturers, when I have given feedback, it hasn't really been taken too well. Maybe because it's, I don't know, like if you can keep us happy as inspectors, you're going to be able to keep anyone happy, aren't you? So, and
you guys are going over it with a fine tooth.
Well, that's right. But also, what stake do we have? Like, we're just inspecting it. Like, you've got installers you need to keep happy who are buying the product. So I get it. I understand on the food chain where we are with this. So that's cool. Bit of a tick for the way it's inspected, though, which is cool.
Pass that one down.
I like it,
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much.
All right, John, I want to know, you've been at GoodWe since 2021, is that right?
Yep.
What got you into solar? Like, why did you decide to jump on the solar coaster? Because for starters, you must be a little bit mad, because I think...
He's friends with me, for starters.
Yeah, exactly. We're all a bit crazy in solar. Everyone knows that. Won't come as a surprise to anyone. On a serious note, though, like, what made you get into it? Like, was it... did you fall into it? Did you want to make a difference? What's your story?
Well, my background has always been marketing for B2B, predominantly engineering and technology companies. Yep. Back in the UK, Europe, and I lived in Dubai for a couple of years as well, and that was for the oil and gas industry. And it was nice because it was a nice variety of work, and it was interesting, always challenging. Yeah. But when I moved down to Australia, obviously I was trying to look for work. And having my background, obviously I didn't come down here on a work visa. Came down because I met my wife back in the UK. Right. Came back down with her when her visa ran out. And got hitched down here. So kind of just stumbled into the industry, really.
So hang on, were you here on a holiday? Or your wife's Australian?
My wife is Kiwi.
Your wife's Kiwi, right.
Yeah, but she's an Aussie citizen.
Ah, gotcha.
She had a 2-year work visa and went to the UK.
Okay, that makes sense.
We hooked up there and...
gotcha.
Yeah.
It's history.
Yeah, that's it, really, yeah. So I was an expensive souvenir. Very expensive. So yeah, it was just through chance, really. Yeah, I'll be honest.
You kind of fell into it a little bit, and then you've fallen in love with the industry and what it's all about.
I really have. Actually. Yeah, it's great because it's always evolving. It's a positive industry. It's doing something good. Yeah, we hope. And being in different sides of it, starting out with a distributor with Empower, and that was good because it really plunged me into the deep end. And, not really knowing anything about the technology or what anything did. It was just kind of learn on the job. Yeah. Which is great. I like that kind of thing because it forces you to learn, forces you to try and understand stuff.
Trying the deep end.
Yeah.
And best way to learn.
Yeah. And you're working with tech guys, you're working with sales guys. And that was, it really sort of whet my appetite. Yeah. And then when an opportunity arose with Selectronic, and I love a good underdog. And
well, they're the top dog now, almost like now we're in the off-grid space and batteries.
Absolutely.
Dominating.
Oh yeah, they're dominating the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it's a family
for sure.
company.
Oh yeah, they've come from like the smallest little thing in like the last 50 years. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that was great because the applications and the stories and the way they were using that technology, the products, just fascinating. Yeah. And really, really amazing stuff, especially when we had the bushfires. There are some amazing case studies about that, how the SP Pros help people literally saving their properties.
How good's that?
Wow, that's really cool.
Water systems.
We should have a look at that.
It's really good. There's some good stories. Just before I left, I was able to film some really good stuff. Yeah. And driving out up to Gippsland just after the fires was harrowing.
Oh, the ones that the ones just before COVID. What are they called? The Black Summer bushfires, I think it was. Yeah, they were horrible.
I've never seen anything like it. Just an expanse of blackness. And I must admit though, it was nice to see little pops of green emerging. Clearly, where trees had just been charred. And killed. But then you get to these oasis of green, so you think, what the hell's this? And the perimeter was saved by their sprinkler systems and stuff. So that was off-grid technology at its best.
Quite amazing.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah. Well, and giving a bit of a plug to, well, they're not quite your opposition, but they're, well, they sort of are a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, it's all.
That's all right. We're all
friends.
Yeah, we're all friends.
That's it.
Before we get into too much stuff, I want to know a couple of other things on the lighter side. So in the notes when we send out and speak to you, it's pretty funny. Well, we mentioned, let's go look again. You've got some references here. You've got... You worked with Russell Crowe, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, hang on. So
I saw that as well. I don't know this story.
Russell Crowe, Hugh Jackman, and Eric Bana. So I was going to say 3 of the biggest Aussie stars. Russell Crowe is a Kiwi. Yeah, I think we've claimed. I don't know if we want to claim him, but we're
claiming him.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
It's like the British when a Scottish person does good in sports. Oh, they're British. When they fail, they're Scottish.
Yeah, we definitely do that. So we absolutely do that. So, do you want to just quickly touch on these 3 international stars of the movie world that you have had experiences working with? What's that all about?
Yeah, that's a fun fact. I want to hear this too.
Okay, so when I left Dubai, I was there for 2 years, and I moved back to the UK, and I set up down in Berkshire, which is sort of near Ascot and Windsor.
Yep.
On the outskirts of London. And I was trying to set up my own agency, and I was working with a few companies at the time. And it was great because I was the master of my own time, really, schedule. And I was in Ascot, the village, and just getting some groceries, and I saw a little sign saying extras wanted for film TV work. Ooh, okay.
Oh, no.
I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to just see what's happening on a film set and stuff. So applied, got into this agency. And then you get sent sort of alerts like, can you do this? And then they said, like, can you do marching in formation and stuff like that? So, well, yeah, kind of. Not military background. I thought, no, I'll just,
Can't be that hard.
Yeah.
So I signed up, and then I found out it was Les Mis, the movie.
Right.
So before you know it.
Hang on, were all these 3 in Les Mis?
No.
I was going to say.
They were all 3 separate. Well, the first 2.
Russell and Hugh.
They were in Les Mis. And then I did it wasn't very successful. It was like a crime spy thriller thing with Eric Bana.
There you go.
But yeah, did 2 weeks on Les Mis. We did filming in Greenwich Naval College.
What's that?
Oh, it's not as glamorous as it sounds. You're essentially walking furniture.
Yeah.
It's long days as well. Like 5 a.m. through to 2 p.m. 2 p.m. the next morning.
Have
Okay.
you ever done that? Have you ever been an extra, Lauren?
Hell no.
You know what?
Can I be a GoodWe extra for any of the market? I'm just thinking.
You know what? I've actually been an extra before.
Have you?
Really?
Yeah. So this is before
Is this a thing?
No, it's not. It's not. It's just sort of how it happened. This was for a Coca-Cola ad in 1996.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had this Coca-Cola promotion thing with the AFL. Yeah. And I used to be in the Essendon cheer squad. Right?
Oh my gosh, stop it. I can't.
So we got asked, all the cheer squads got to put a few people forward to go in this ad. And what it was, rather than all of the people in the cheer squad holding up the banner and the players run through, it was the slogan at the time was Coca-Cola always for the fans. And they got all the stars of the AFL to hold the banner up. And
the fans
ran through.
Okay, that's actually really cool.
And I was part of that.
Oh, that's actually cool.
You can't see me on the ad though.
It doesn't matter.
I saw the ad again about a couple of years ago. Anyway.
At least you know in your heart you were there. Same with me with Les Mis. Yeah. But yeah, when you said Coca-Cola, I thought you were going to say, you were the Diet Coke man or something.
No, it's definitely not.
Okay, so 2025 goal, be an extra.
Be an extra.
Okay. It's good fun. It's worth trying.
Yeah, I got paid my $50 a day or whatever it was.
That's all right. I'll take it.
We digressed a little bit there. All right, and the other one is you've had invitations to Buckingham Palace, 10 Downing Street, and the House of Lords.
Yeah.
So what's that all about?
So Buckingham,
I know what these places are.
Did you really just ask that?
No, but I know. How did you get? So was it an exclusive invitation or something like that?
The Buckingham Palace thing was. I was with St. John ambulance in my teens. And it's strange because down here, I believe it's not structured like it is in the UK. It's more like a youth group where you can learn first aid and stuff.
Oh, in the UK, is that what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So kids as young as 6 can get involved. It's kind of like Scouts in a way.
Sure, yeah.
And I thought this looks kind of cool because you can learn first aid and get to do fun stuff. Like you can get to do first aid duty at soccer matches and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah, it was great. I got in 97, I got Cadet of the Year or something. And then, got an invitation. Apparently, like, they gather a few cadets, like, every year, like, from different parts of the UK for, like, a gathering at Buckingham Palace. And Princess Anne's sort of like their, what do they call it? So, like, their honorary sort of royal in command position. Got an invitation to go down, and then you get sort of whisked in a coach, and it's just like a, shake hands, bow. Like,
did you get to meet the Queen?
No, Princess Anne.
Princess Anne, right.
Who has a mean handshake.
Yeah, really?
Really?
Because she does horse riding. And
oh, sorry, cut that.
Does that thing have a bleep button?
I do have it somewhere. I've got.
She's still alive?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cut
that.
Princess Anne, that's I don't know, I'm not good with my royals. That's who's that? That's
Margaret's daughter. God.
You've got to know.
There's so many of them. But no, she was nice, but just a hell of a handshake. That's all I remember. That was fun. And then just later, like, as I worked more and more and I got more heavily involved with stuff.
Okay.
They did like a drug awareness program because that, at that sort of time in the late 90s, it was a big thing in the UK, and there was a lot of, issues and problems with it, and they were trying to do some kind of legislation and stuff. So they wanted some youth opinion. So they invited a few of us to the House of Lords. I had to do a little speech in the House of Lords.
Oh, cool.
And then afterwards, we had to drop off some kind of report thing to Number 10.
There you go.
That was kind of cool.
Who was the Prime Minister then?
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, that was cool. You have to go through like a security gate.
Yep.
Get patted down the archway, and then on the wall is just this arsenal of every weapon imaginable.
Wow.
Meant to intimidate, and it did. But then you get to walk down the street, knock on the door, go in, all that kind of stuff. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting stories. That's, You've done a fair bit there.
You've lived a whole new life before this.
Sure. So I've noticed you worked at Empower.
Yeah.
What'd you do there?
Yeah, what is Empower, by the way? I saw that.
I don't think they're around anymore in Australia. I think the projects division still is. So it was divided into 3 divisions. So there was the products wholesaler. There was New Zealand products wholesaler, and then there was a projects division, which was sort of utility scale projects up in Sydney. So I was brought on as the marketing coordinator. Just based in Rowville.
Okay.
Corner from where we are now. I had to sort of cover all 3. New Zealand to a lesser extent. It was just a very sort of generic sort of marketing role, really. It was good because I got to sort of get familiar with the brands and the people and All Energy. Yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
All Energy. So that's how that came about.
Very good. Oh, that's all cool. Oh, okay. So it's all been a little bit nice and fluffy so far. So let's hit you up with one of the more uncomfortable questions, but I think we can turn around to a positive.
Sure.
So I wanted to obviously, being an inspector, we had a situation a couple of years ago, maybe 18 months ago, with a GoodWe inverter and a recall.
Yep.
And it was something to do with the AC plug not having the correct IP rating. You're aware of this issue? Were you around with this? Yeah. So that would have been a difficult time, I would have thought, for GoodWe at the time. And obviously, I think you guys handled it like pretty well. But do you want to give us any insight into that and how you dealt with it? Or even, I don't know, it seems like it was an accidental thing and it was maybe a bit of an oversight and that's how it happened, I think.
Completely, yeah. You nailed it on the head. It was the fact that our AC plug wasn't compliant here in Victoria. And it required the use of a tool to disconnect it, even though you have to use a specific push twist pull thing to remove it. It wasn't compliant, even though it was compliant everywhere else in the world. So it's just an oversight on that part, but all credit to everyone involved. Dean and Mike, we hopped on a plane. They were in China. Manufacturing stopped. they sort of write, okay, what do we do? What's the rectification? Working with the ACCC, ESV, everyone. As you can imagine, a lot of different governing bodies involved.
Yeah.
We had to coordinate between each one and be sort of like the man in the middle. And yeah, it was just a case of, right, what's the rectification process for everything else that's out there? And it was just, it was a simple clip with a lock.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I didn't really have that many affected by it. And
there was a fair number because it was a popular model. But we're on the last 20% now. Rectified.
Yep. But these would be the strugglers, the ones that are going to, so they're going to take the longest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've targeted them and we've contacted them repeatedly, and it's just waiting for them to act upon it. It's the homeowner saying, okay, you can come and do this. So I'm not privy to all the inside information or what's happening at the top. But our goal at the time was complete transparency. Everyone's got to know about this because ultimately we just want it rectified and move on.
Yeah, I remember someone called us pretty quickly because we obviously do a fair bit of volume with GoodWe on the new builds, and it was kind of like, what are you doing? How many do you have out there? And we only had a handful, which was really, really good. But it was a really quick turnover, getting them swapped out and everything as well.
So set up a dedicated team, hotline, email, website, and just 2 methods of rectification. Installers could do it themselves. Go on site, would reimburse, or just let us know. Our team goes out and does everything.
And then did it straight away.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah, I remember when it first sort of happened, because me being an inspector, some of the emails I was getting when it initially happened was probably a little bit of an overreaction in hindsight, because what had happened, we were actually, when we saw them, in the first couple of weeks that we saw them, we were actually disconnecting them and have to tell the customers, look, sorry, but we actually have to disconnect this. And because it was considered an unsafe at the time. Yeah,
that's fair.
I think that did change from the rating went from unsafe to rectification required, which is where it sort of sits now. If they ever came out now, it's rectification required. But I think now, isn't there now, I think on the new ones, they've actually made the contacts a little bit deeper into the plug. So now you don't even need the clip. Is that right? I think.
No, you still need that locking.
You still need it.
You still need the use of a tool to disconnect the AC plug. That was the complicated parts.
Well, what I've noticed though, I think they're a little bit deeper now because they were actually close to the surface, and you could see. I mean, the IP2X requires, if you can get your finger in there, basically, that's where it can become an issue. There's no way you would now.
Child's finger or something.
Yeah, it's actually a you get a bit nerdy. It's actually a standard test finger. It's actually something it's a thing they use in testing. Yeah, you can actually buy them. I think they're about $80 to buy.
Gosh.
What even more? Yeah, but you can probably get a 3D printer to make one up.
What?
It's
where did you buy them from?
Yeah.
Well,
why do you have one of them?
Well, I don't have one.
Bullshit.
I don't have a test finger. I don't have
I'm going to go wreck your car after this.
Jeez. I promise I'm not hiding a test finger. I promise I'm
got a bit red.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what, it's quite funny. I can imagine how red I'd be if I had a bunch of test fingers.
Stop it, I can't.
Oh, this is getting...
Sorry, boy. Oh. Anyway, back on the serious stuff. Oh, dear me.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, for those on Spotify and Apple, I am quite red at the moment. Actually crying a little bit.
Something you want to tell me?
I've got to keep this podcast out of the gutter, surely.
Yeah.
Surely we do.
Sorry, post-production.
All right. Anyway, I think the way it was dealt with was quite good. It was, the whole process from when you were advised about it and to where there was actually a solution and you're able to get that out, it seemed to be pretty quick. It seemed to be only a few weeks where, I don't know what it actually was. Sorry, I've still got tears rolling down my face here.
Yeah. I think it was, obviously, we just had to sort of let everyone know, stop installing these, stop selling them, essentially just pause.
Yep.
And then we had to wait for the correct documentation to be approved and say, okay, this rectification is good to go. Yeah. Given the recall notice, the red triangle, the whole thing that we have to officially use. And then it was just a case of, right, okay, get it out there.
Yeah.
Because, there's no point in hiding it or trying to sweep it under the rug.
Yep.
It was an oversight on our part. It's cost us financially, and that's for us to own and learn from.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just something that happened. And we've just tried to correct it to the best of our ability, really.
Sounds like you learned from it.
Yeah,
that's something.
Absolutely.
Next time, whatever it is, when you put a product to market, just got to check everything, I suppose. I don't know. I suppose that's what you learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep,
got
that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all safe now, which is good.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that wasn't too hard hitting, was it? It turned into a bit of a comedy act.
No,
actually.
that was fine.
All right, cool. All right, I think we're ready for our first break.
Yes, please. I feel like I'm going to have a laugh. Just a minute.
Go on, let's go and see this test.
I'm going to go step outside and go raid your car.
Oh, jeez.
I got to tell Mike and the team about this one. They're going to
test finger. I'll post a photo of. It won't be my own test finger because I don't know one, but I'll post a photo on the socials maybe of a test finger because it is actually a thing. Okay. But anyway, all right. Okay, so let's go to our first ad break. When we come back, I want to speak a bit more about some of the programs you're doing at GoodWe, some of the stuff you've got with kids involved, which I'm really interested in. Some of the things that are happening in the community and what you're doing to help. So I'm really looking forward to this. You, Lauren, I reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. This is where we come into play.
Fantastic.
Very good. All right. No worries. We'll go to a break and we'll be back in just a few moments.
BRB.
Hey solar installers. Struggling to keep up with CPD requirements? At Southwell Solar Training, we're here to make it simple. Our online courses are designed to give you the knowledge you need without the sales pitch. With an affordable subscription, you'll unlock access to our growing library of technical courses, covering everything from inspecting older systems to spotting installation defects. Learn at your own pace, earn CPD points, and stay ahead in the industry. Join us today and start learning smarter, not harder. Visit www.southwellsolartraining.com.au and get your CPD the easy and affordable way.
And we are back. We had a nice little break. I had to get a big laugh in a fit out, so thanks for that, lads.
By the way, Lauren has decided to clear her search history after just going through a few Google searches after that. So
yeah, let's hope no one looks at that. What the hell is a standard test finger? I've got questions for you off air.
I told you it was a thing.
Yes, okay.
It's so awkward. All right. All right, so we're back, John. Now, really interested in your EcoSmart Kids program. Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell us what that's all about? Like, I've got a fair idea. I'm interested in it and how it got started and what it actually is. You able to tell us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this will make great audio, but I'm wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah. Those on YouTube will be able to see. So, yep.
It's a good plug.
Yep.
So when I first joined GoodWe, one of the first tasks I was plunged into was creating some kind of mobile display. And I've always had like something in the back of my mind about something that was a bit sort of multi-purpose.
Yeah.
And I came up with a roadshow vehicle, a platform that could open out, obviously just like customized van, that we could utilize for various events, whether it's sales, networking, training, and sales. Our retailers could use it, and I wanted it powered by our own system, our own energy storage. And that worked really well. We launched that early 2022. And Dean and I were chatting, and I said, look, I've always wanted to do something for kids. I think there's something there with it. We've got this tool at our disposal. Kids love a novelty. I don't know if you remember back at school, and you get guest visitors coming into the school, and it's like, oh, it's the police, or it's someone to give a talk or something. And I thought, how about if we rocked up with this thing and told the kids about how solar works, how they can help the environment, and just not preach. Just inform and inspire.
Make it fun.
Yeah, exactly right. And obviously, I think with the subjects, primary school children was probably the most appealing. I think you get to a certain age, and then you're in a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah,
like you're getting more involved in the tech, and we're not professional teachers, and I don't think we'd be able to cope with a bunch of teenagers with this thing. So I came up with EcoSmart Kids. We already had the EcoSmart brand for our residential and commercial solutions, so we kind of utilized that and added kids because it just, rather than reinvent the wheel. And what it is it comprises of a workshop, about 25 minutes in length, 3 modules made comprising animated videos, just to keep the engagement high and interesting, and just covering the basics in a positive way about climate change, the environment, all tailored to Australia as well.
Yes.
So it was relevant.
Love
stuff
that.
for kids.
So good, isn't it?
Love it.
I'm just loving hearing this. Like, keep going. I just loving this up.
And then obviously how solar and other renewable energy works as well, just so kids could get a grasp on it, because I'm sure they've seen wind turbines, they've seen solar panels everywhere. But just to tell them, like, look, you're in this vehicle. These are essentially just boxes on the walls. But this is what they do, roughly. And then, the stuff was just full of facts and interesting things related to Australia and the little things that they could do in their daily lives to, save money, help the environment, reduce risks of bushfires, things of that nature.
So good.
I've got a few teacher friends, so I worked with them on the content, making sure it was all relevant. Yeah. And there was something in it for everyone. I wanted it to cover from grades 1 to 6.
That was my question, because I've got kids at the moment in grade 4, 5, and 6. For me, that seems to be right in their wheelhouse. Like, I was wondering about the younger kids though. How do you go with like the preps and grade 1s and that sort of stuff? Like, not so much preps. You said you start at grade 1, is that right?
Yeah. We just wanted it, the content to have key messages that anyone could understand, whether a little kid, they could take the overall basics. Yeah. And the way we presented the information, such as climate change, like, okay, the Earth's unwell, it's too hot. What happens when you get too hot? You feel unwell. That kind of basics, but then...
Hey, that speaks to me. That makes sense. Yeah, I never really heard it that well.
Just like 1 + 1 in my head. I'm like, that's such a good way of
And then doing it in a visual format.
You came up with that. Did you come up with that?
Yeah.
Marketing king.
Look at that.
That was good.
That's cool.
And then in between each module, we have a little Q&A, just not to sort of like quiz them, but just like see if they picked up on stuff, get their thoughts, ideas. More often than not, we'd be like sitting there thinking, oh my God, some kid comes up with, oh, what about geothermal energy? I thought,
I'm out of my depth here.
You're grade 3. Just really insightful stuff. And I think it just goes to show that kids are a lot smarter than
and it plants that seed as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gets them going home and, Mum, how come we should start doing this?
That was the intention.
We should start doing that.
And on the back of that, we added a competition as well.
I've heard about this. Yeah. Tell me about that. I've heard all about this, but I want our listeners to hear it.
Well,
do you want in, don't you?
I just love it. I just think it's a great idea. I just love it.
Well, it extends the program beyond a visit, and it allows the schools to get engaged, because some of the schools we're working with, they're on different. Some are really actively involved with sustainability. They've got recycling programs. They've got their own composting, veggie patches, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're into sustainability, a lot of these primary schools,
Whether it's part of the curriculum or they have the funding to do this stuff. Some obviously don't. Yeah. And we thought, well, at least this gives them something, to utilize. And it's free. It doesn't cost the schools a single penny. And then, we thought the competition would extend that. And like you say, Lauren, the kids go back home. They tell the parents about it. We give them a little pen thing with a URL where they can reference all the videos they've seen and how to enter the competition. And all we ask them to do is come up with something that tells us what you've learned. But it's got to be like a positive message about what you learned about climate change or what you learned about how you could help the environment, anything you wanted it to be. And we left it open to the medium, whether they're like art, writing, music, creating videos, digital stuff, baking,
so cool,
model making. And then, and it wasn't about talent. It was just purely about imagination and creativity. It wasn't about who's the best artist, who's the most talented musician, anything like that. It was just purely about you use your imagination and the most imaginative, creative ideas. That's what we picked up on. And then,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then we had some partner brands. Like we were doing home shows at the time with the roadshow vehicle. Yep. So the home show were part of it. Energy Matters, the Forever Eve project, and then we had a dean from GoodWe, and they formed the judging panel. And then we rewarded first, second, third prizes to each grade of each school. And then the first place winner from each of those grades went on to another round of judging. There's against other schools.
Like regionals.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. So
I don't know either.
Yeah, and then we did a championship final at the.
That's competitive.
Your mind is ticking. I can see.
And then we utilised the home show as an awards event, and we utilised their speaker stage, and it just got all before the show opens. All the teachers, the kids, the parents could come along. And it's just it's rewarding the kids. It's like, well done for your efforts, that kind of thing. Making them, giving them a bit of the star treatment, some star prizes, trophies, things like that. And everyone who entered walked away with something. There was no sort of, empty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
People. But it was good because I think competition is healthy. It's good for kids to sort of like put their imaginations to the test and know that, okay, I'm rewarded when I make an effort at something. And just that kind of thing, really. So it's sort of rewarding as many kids as possible, and then obviously elevating it as well, and hopefully encouraging other schools to do the same. So we've been doing that for 3 years, so we're about to do that in Cairns this year.
Awesome.
End of the month.
Yeah, right.
How do you approach the schools? Do you just message them? Like, how do you get into a school? Because sometimes there's a lot of game.
It really is the hardest part, because more often than not, you've just got your standard email on their website.
Yeah.
Send an information pack via email, do a follow-up call, and it's like cold calling in a way. And obviously it's usually the admin team that see these things and they just think, no, scam.
Delete.
Ulterior motive.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Like some of these school, whether it's the secretary or whoever's answering the phones, they are some of the toughest people to get anything through. You just can't get anything past them.
Yeah. And then I've got the pitch when I call up, and I'm trying to make it as casual as possible. That is the hardest part. But once you're in, it gets easier. Thankfully for the first round, as I say, I had some teacher friends, so it allowed us to get into initial skills. And then we had the proof. Then we can have in the information.
That's it.
Here are the testimonials, the videos, photos.
That's it. And once your name gets out there, like a lot of these schools speak to each other too. And that's good.
Yeah. So last year the program doubled in scale.
Wow, that's awesome. You're going to need another roadshow vehicle.
Sorry?
You're going to need another roadshow vehicle.
We had to know, it's obviously we're limited by the amount of time we can devote to it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And we all had to get working with children checks, of course. Their safety is paramount, and we had to follow all their protocols. The entry forms are a consent form, so that obviously any winners, obviously the parents want to see their photographs, but child safety and protection.
Of course,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you got to cover.
You really got to cover those things. But getting through to the schools was by far the hardest, but after that it was pretty much plain sailing.
So in Cairns this year?
Yeah. Cairns to Port Douglas.
Nice. Are you going?
Yeah. Annie and I are going up there at the end of the month, and we've got 3 schools, like bang, 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 consecutive days. And we've got, because we work closely with the Barrier Reef team up there, they'll be a part of that this year. And we're focusing more on them and their work, because they're a local institute, I guess. And it's making it more relatable to the kids up there. It's like, oh, wow, that's happening on our doorstep.
I was just going to say, everyone needs to know what's happening up there at the Barrier Reef.
That's it, And it hopefully encourages more schools to like, okay, let's find out more about this. And it's, a bit of a knock-on effect, and it benefits them as well, hopefully.
Nice.
So cool. It's, I love it. This, you hear so many, I don't know, sleazy marketing things that are going on. This is like so cool.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of that. It's actually, you're making a difference to the whole society, to the earth, to the community as well.
Yep.
And anything community-based, I love it.
As well.
And there's a financial investment in it, but it's our time. It's just something that we can do. The kids get benefit out of it. They enjoy it.
You're not really going in there pushing, here's our inverters, here's our brand. Like, you can't really go in there.
Take this data sheet home.
Yeah. Tell your parents to get solar. Like, you can't really go in there doing that.
And if you think they're good for a battery, here, take this.
EV chargers have got an electric. But I guess there is a secondary thing there, because when we were doing the home shows, the part of that was to offer impartial advice to consumers, because obviously we don't sell directly to the public.
Sure.
It was an opportunity for people to like, okay, I'm in this situation. What the hell do I do? And we always say, look, there are plenty of great brands out there, and we just try and guide them on, this is what your situation is. This is how we would suggest you go about it. And then we just say, okay, here is some examples of your nearest retailers. Some people would be at the show themselves, and you just said, just go and speak to these guys if you want prices, but that's as far as we can go.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because you get a lot of interesting feedback as well, and you get a lot of the "it's all a scam, it's all for them."
Oh my
God! And they come up to you, and you could just see in their eyes, they want to debate.
Yeah.
They want
to fight.
Prove to me, and I thought, no, sorry.
I still get that. When I'm calling people. Now, most of our builders have got a 3 or a 5 kilowatt system that's standard in their house, and I have to just ring them and go through the requirements. Oh, I don't really want solar. It's all a scam.
Yeah. I know. It's,
So
but you're never going to get over that, I think.
So part of it was just like, try and open a few eyes and make people a bit more open-minded and just look at the facts. Instead of just going on pure hearsay and gut instinct. And like some schools we went to were near coal power stations.
Yeah, so I understand that. And that's what those communities have been built on. And you can understand it's so ingrained in their communities. You can see why they would see it as maybe a threat or whatever. It's, interesting stuff. It's, so good you're making a difference, though. I love it.
Oh, thanks.
I love it, yeah. No,
we're really happy with it. And it's great because my counterparts in other parts of the world are now utilizing it as well. So they're adapting the content, and they're doing, I think Poland's going to do it this year. I've already done it in Pakistan and South Africa. And
really?
Yeah. To various different levels. One was like an isolated school thing, and it was part of a donation to a school in Africa. And same with Pakistan as well. But I believe like they're now sort of, it's like, okay, how can we adapt this and utilize it for different scenarios?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, awesome. I love that. That's really cool. Kind of a bit of a business model there. Well, not a business model, a program model.
Yeah. And that's the benefit because digital as well. There's no carbon footprint. Just anyone can use it. Schools can use it for free. All they have to do is ask. So there you go. Take it, use it. Let us know if we can give you a few prizes, that kind of thing.
Love that.
If they're like, here's a bit of a sort of sales pitch. If anyone like is either a teacher who's listening or anything like that, can they reach out to you and say, we're interested in, we want you to come out?
Yep.
They can contact you guys and you'll go and you'll consider going out there? Is that?
Yeah, it obviously depends on our schedule and calendar and commitments. But if we can't go out there, we'll still give them the resources and the pack and the workshop videos, and we can just help them run it themselves if they choose to do so. Because obviously we can't just drop everything in.
No, of course not. Yeah.
But that's the aim of it. That's why I created it, so that other people could just benefit from it for free.
So cool.
But we just want to keep it within educational institutes, so like professional teachers are delivering it. And I've reached out to youth groups, I've reached out to Scouts and Girl Guides.
Yeah, right.
We'll see what happens there, but it's there to be used. It's if more kids can benefit from it, the better.
That's so awesome. Well done.
I love it.
Really cool.
It's so cool.
You'd be amazed at the competition entries as well. One kid came up with a working hydroponics model using batteries.
Far out.
Seriously.
You guys are going out of business.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is that kid?
You have to employ this kid.
There was another kid that came up with this diorama made partially of Lego. He was our winner for grades 2 to 4 in the first year. And he came up with a low carbon footprint coffee production thing from like growing beans to selling the coffee, utilizing solar and stuff like that. Just like an entire business model, recorded a video from it. Just gobsmackingly good ideas and creativity. But it wasn't just about like, who's the brainiest kid. Like some kid just like made a whole bunch of solar cookies, different.
Now you're talking
the cookies.
Yeah, cool.
Along with
that's on my level, I think.
Something for everyone.
Yeah, that's it. And it was just not about like who's got the biggest IQ or like, wow, that's clever.
Good marketing.
Yeah, definitely. It's just what they came up with and what was inspiring. I thought that's a great idea. That's just completely out of left field. And even one kid in Bendigo was already doing stuff. He was making bird boxes from leftover timber, like just scraps of wood, and selling them and raising money for local charities up in Bendigo.
Oh, what a legend.
How cool is that?
What a legend.
Like talk about a sustainable business model. And his entry was one of these, and he had a little presentation. It's like, I've raised money for all these different charities, like thousands of dollars. And he's a little primary school kid, and they just saying, hats off to you, mate.
Oh my gosh. I'm recessing my whole life after that.
Oh, no, tell me about it.
Oh, shit. That's pretty cool.
I feel like I haven't achieved anything.
Yeah, nothing. Podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's really cool, John. That's awesome.
I love it, John. Yeah. That's so good.
It's good to get into schools like that and educate, because all it takes is one conversation to spark another conversation at home. You'd be surprised. Like you said, these kids these days are sponges. They take it all in.
They do.
Yeah. So if teachers are listening and stuff, we'll be launching a webpage soon, ecosmartkids.com.au. And then if they want to make an inquiry, and just do that,
Cool. I mean, we'll chuck your details somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that way people can email you directly, or generic email.
We'll definitely do that. Put that on the socials in the show notes for sure. I noticed you've a little bit of there was a mention of support for Awise. You're big supporters of Awise at GoodWe. Yeah. Have you had, what involvement you had with them? Just mainly, you're just supporting them? Is it
just general encouragement, really, through their events and the networking and the breakfast events?
Yeah.
At the moment, we've just got Annie, who's my marketing assistant on our team. And we just thought, we just think diversity and mixed agendas and backgrounds is always healthy for a team. And when we heard about because I knew Bobby McKibben and Sophie and some of the guys there, and we just thought what they're doing is great for the industry. It's encouraging future generations to look at careers and pursue this line of work. And we just thought this is just great. So we're just trying to encourage and support them whenever we can throughout the year with their different events. And I know Lauren's sort of involved with them as well. And it's like the solar industry in general. Everyone knows everyone. So you just find out about stuff like, cool, would love to support that. And it ties in exactly with all the community work and stuff like EcoSmart Kids as well. Yeah. It just, everything supports everything else.
Yeah, Awise has got, Annie and I, we often sit together at all the events, or we'll message each other, are you going to that one? Are you going to that one? No, it's a good little community, Awise. It is good. So, GoodWe is often sponsoring events. I don't think it was the Recharge last year.
Yeah, we've done all those, the Recharge a Spark events, and we usually do door prizes. I think it was Spa vouchers last year. Before then, it was a whole host of gadgets.
Lego sets,
yeah.
Got one today.
Yeah.
Eco Barbie sets as well.
That's right, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
Cool. Yeah, actually, I'm going to call out Lauren from Supply Partners, because I thought I won, and Lauren won the Barbie, and I'm like, I sunk into my seat, and they're like, it's Loz from Supply Partners.
So many Laurens in this industry.
It's only one legend, though.
Yeah.
No, kidding.
Fighting.
Yeah, it is.
Kidding.
No. Oh, that's cool. All right, that's fun. All right, well, I wanted to ask your thoughts on what you think of where the industry's sort of going over the next couple of years, or just in the future. You got any thoughts of where you think it will be, or where you want it to be? What do you reckon? What sort of future reckon we got?
I think of the technology obviously is always evolving. Yeah. But just as a gut feel for the industry as a whole, I think it's nice to see new generations coming in. Yeah. Because I think it's forcing change. Yeah. And forcing improvements. I think when I first joined the industry, I saw a lot of the same, whether it was exhibitions or conferences, and I just saw the same rinse and repeat, tried and tested. Let's not step out of our comfort zone. Yeah. I think there's a lot more people doing good and doing things for the right reason. Yeah. Like Awise, like what Lauren's doing, just championing stuff and for the right ways, the right reasons. Yeah. There's a lot of great guys out there, and it's just lovely to see, because it's like it's a youthful energy, and hopefully people are more acceptable of change. And hopefully that makes better improvements as well. And that has a filter effect through to consumers as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's, I think a lot of the people in the industry they do work well with change. Yep. And maybe that's the sort of people this industry attracts. And because a lot of people in society that are just not good with change, I think. Maybe that's why a lot of people are set in their ways a little bit with a few things. Yeah. And find it hard to move, whether it's with new technologies or doing things possibly a better way.
Definitely.
There's, we don't all have to, well, I suppose we don't all anymore, go home and, watch the 6 o'clock news and then go read the newspaper and then go to the petrol station and fill up our car. And, it's things are changing. Things are changing. And I feel like, in this industry, there's a lot more people that are accepting of that. So I think you're right.
And the conferences are great as well, because I see a lot more diverse and interesting content on there as well, especially with work with First Nations groups as well.
Yeah, right.
And you get to hear more about what other people are doing in other parts of the world as well. And I think people are starting to learn from other regions.
Yep.
And of course, we've got the benefit of being a global company, so we get to hear about what our other teams are doing in different parts of the world, and we can learn from each other in that way. But I think it'll be great for people to just start learning and seeing what's working in other regions of the world, or what isn't working, and learning from that. And likewise with exhibitions and conferences as well. I think the industry is overly saturated with them.
Yeah,
it just seems.
Well, with conferences,
exhibitions, roadshows, conferences.
Yeah,
it just seems to be every week. All over
something on.
Yeah, there's always something on.
And you just think, is it too much? Have people got all the time to go to these things?
Yeah.
Is it better to have quality over quantity?
So you pick up on that as a marketing perspective, don't you? I don't really pick on it.
Yeah.
On that much.
I've heard people say that, I don't know. I'm not sure which way I sit with it all, because I can sort of see both. Both sides. Like I think for us to grow up as an industry, we do need to have these big conferences. You're right though, maybe not every week, but I also understand why they do have these little ones as well, because they serve a bit of a purpose. It is a big commitment for people to be able to take time off their day to day, and we are also busy doing stuff. It's a tough one.
I think that was one of the reasons we created the roadshow vehicle as well, because it was a post-COVID world, and we thought, people don't want to come to these big events initially, as rather as going to them. Going to the smaller places, the more regional pockets.
Important to get to those places, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I like Sea of Vic, they always go to the regional locations.
Yeah.
They always change it up, and I think that's really good.
Yeah, they're off to Lorne, I think, this year.
Yes. I think I'm going to go to that.
Yeah, yeah?
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Nice part of the world.
And I think they're great because the conference presentation is always educational and informative. It's not, again, the hard sell stuff.
Exactly. Let's talk my language now.
Yeah, I'd rather not be part of that at all.
Yeah.
I'd rather be there as an exhibitor and a supporter, unless we've got something truly, educational or it's training-based to convey.
Yeah.
But it's just knowing that balance of, like, you can just see people's eyes glaze over when it becomes, this is the About Us screen. Here are our locations.
Thank God you said that. I can't stand that. I go into these things and you sit there and go, okay, this could be interesting. And then they start going into, we sell 600 million panels worldwide since 2022. We're backed by so-and-so. And there's like, blah, blah, freaking blah.
Yeah.
And that's,
come on.
You just lose interest.
And after half an hour of it, I think, what value am I getting from this again?
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you're saying that as a manufacturer. Yeah, so other manufacturers, like, step up, seriously. Do it properly. Stop boring us with this crap.
Show us the good stuff, and that's it.
And that goes back to what I was saying about the old sort of tried and tested mud kind of ways. And it's like, just come on, people are passing.
Yeah.
Everyone's busy. Everyone's like got time to do stuff. Everyone's like, they're trying to make a living and stuff like that. Let's help the installers. If you're not going to say anything useful or informative, people know where to find brands. They know if they want to find out this stuff, they can find it out. It's quite easy.
Oh, that's good. Hey, do you reckon some of the manufacturers would hit back at me and say, yeah, well, Southwell, we're sick of you saying about how important mandatory inspections are. That's all you bloody bang on about.
You're going to cop some heat on that one.
Good. Bring it.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Looking forward to it.
I've done so many of these. I mean, we've done over 100 events with the roadshow vehicle.
Yeah. Hey, what vehicle's that? Sorry to just cut you off there. I just wanted to know what vehicle it was.
It's a Ford Transit.
Ford Transit.
Cab chassis, and then we had the container customized.
Nice.
I wanted it all singing, all dancing.
It's crazy. It's really. We've used it for one of our events before. We had a builder event.
Yep.
Yeah, and you guys came down to Hallam. We also tried to model it and make our own because we had an old truck that we outgrew. hats off to you. It is a process.
Yeah.
It is a lot harder than what I thought it was.
Retrofitting it all.
Yeah, it is. At all the dimensions for all the road shows and certain exhibits, it has to be this wide and that wide. And see this.
Head clearance.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. I don't know how Goppy fits in your
He just kind of
like ducks down a little bit.
And as I say, we've got the working energy storage system, and it obviously grounded earth. And then we've got the ability to flick a switch and show how it switches to backup power.
It's pretty cool.
Because we've got a TV there and a little mini fridge, and they're on the backup circuit, and just like, okay, watch the TV, and just demonstrating like not just the cost savings, but also other reasons. I think there'll be a lot of people in the Gold Coast right about now hoping that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we're going to cover that once in the industry news. But yeah, definitely, you're right. A lot of people have been talking about that with the tropical cyclone Alfred getting down that far south. So
healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, before we go into closing comments, do you want to? I mentioned this to Lauren last week. Do you want to just mention to Dean next time you see him? Had a bit of an awkward sort of passing with him last year, right?
Okay.
So we like, I know who Dean is. I'm pretty sure he knows who I am. Anyway, we've met a couple of times. We were both sat next to each other on a plane coming back from Sydney last year.
All right.
Yeah, from the Sydney conference. And the plane was delayed, and I was cooked. I was so stuffed after the conference. And I sat next to Dean. I thought, I'm pretty sure that's Dean Williamson. Yeah, it is. Yeah, all right. And then I look, he's sitting next to me. And then we both just sort of put our stuff in, buckled up, looked at each other, and then just going, huh. And it was like we both knew, and we were just cooked, and we're like, no. I can't be, we are networked out. We are networked out. Yeah. So either he was thinking that, so that's what I was thinking. So he was either thinking that, or he would have been going, oh, great, I'm sitting next to Pat. Oh, please, no, just don't say anything. Don't say anything. You won't stop talking, this guy. So whichever way it was, just pass on to Dean that I did know it was him, and I wanted to acknowledge him. Next time I see him, I want to mention it. But that's for all the world to hear now. It's one of those awkward things where we both just couldn't be stuffed talking.
Nah.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Yeah.
They're draining weeks. We're so full on.
All Energy Week is hectic.
It's full on.
As a retailer, I can't even imagine what you go through.
I just block out the week, Monday to Friday. Friday comes, it's that sweet spot. And when I see all those pallets go off the exhibition floor, it's just like Christmas.
Let's go.
Oh, good stuff. All right. You've got any closing comments for us, John? It's been a great episode having you in. Really appreciate it. It's been good, hasn't it, Lauren?
It has been really good. I think maybe we should share our project that's going to be live on the press release that we did.
Go for it, Lauren. You introduce it.
No, you do it. Yeah, you'll do it better because you brought the project to me, and I was all in. All
right. So as we mentioned, we do a lot of community and CSR stuff. And again, because we're in that position where we can make the products that make a difference. And I always make sure that we have a part of my budget that we utilize for as wide a variety of projects as we can, whether it's the Barrier Reef team powering their facility in Cairns. We've got First Nations stuff, community housing projects, whatever it may be. We just try and sort of spread that as far and wide as we can and support the installers, because more often than not we get approached by installers, and that's why we set up a Goodwill Award as well. And we've been doing it for 3 years now, and last year the lady over to my left, she won that, her and 6 Star Plus, because of just the continued sustained work that they do, whether it's the smaller stacked or the biggest project for charitable non-profit causes. Again, it's down to the installers that are doing this stuff, and all we're doing is supplying the product to make it happen. But we wanted to give them a stage and recognition and just say, look at what these guys are doing. Hopefully it inspires other people to do more. And then, 6 Star won the Goodwill Award last year. And then I found out about a project this year, a local wildlife foster care home, and it was run by a retired couple. They've been doing this for decades, 30 odd years, and they foster care newborn, orphaned joeys and wombats. Obviously, as a result of accidents, or they find them by the side of the road and stuff. Because kangaroos, first sign of trouble, they'll drop the joey and run. It's like a self-preservation thing. So these guys take on and care for these animals and rear them up until a certain size or weight or age, and then they pass them on to a place in Gembrook, and they go to essentially what they call high school before they're released back into the wild. Well, these guys just doing it off their own backs. They can't be a registered charity because it's just a husband-wife thing. So they just rely on supply donations from the public just through word of mouth. And it was getting to a point where we heard they were going to just shut the doors because they just couldn't afford it. They've got aircon, heaters, incubators going, heating, sterilizing stuff day and night. Like they are up every 2 hours, 24/7 to feed these guys. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's a full-on operation. It's just a normal house, though.
Where's this in Gembrook? Is it?
No, it's in Berwick.
Oh, Berwick.
Yeah, so it's actually down the road from my house.
Oh, yeah.
But then they move on to Gembrook.
Ah, right.
When
Okay.
at a certain age.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they get released into the Gembrook State Forest. So kind of, is it Gembrook or?
Gembrook.
There's a state forest up there.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we just thought, well, let's help with their energy costs and just pull together. And AWM supplied panels as well.
Yes,
donated.
Absolutely.
So it's never one person, it's never one thing. It's always a group of people coming together and make this thing happen. And now they've got a solar system.
Yeah, they got an 8 kilowatt solar system up there that was switched on the other week.
Yep.
Monitoring all set up yesterday for them, so that was really cool. But yeah, they're loving it. They just got the aircon running pretty much 24/7.
Good.
Yeah, so that was a really special project. We got to cuddle all the joeys and
that's great.
So cute. Really cute photos of them.
So we'll have like a video and social media coming out pretty soon, but it's just little stories like that and things that go under the radar, because they're not a charity. They don't get any government funding. They can't raise money. And you just think, well, something like that has now changed their lives and they're able to sort of carry on doing what they do.
Making a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's why we work really closely with you as well. We're quite heavily involved in the community and charity, and if we can rely on support from GoodWe and you and deliver a product, that's one piece. We obviously still need panels mounting. Our subby donates a whole install. It's never just one person. It is a collective effort.
Definitely.
But if we can, we work with like kitchen charities. We've got one coming up in Warragul. Hopefully that one's all going to go through. Fingers crossed they get all their grants as well. But yeah, it makes it easy when you find a company that is keen to support it like you guys. So thank you so much.
And we don't have a bottomless pit, but we just try and use it wisely and help as many people as we can each year. And again, there's some great installers around Australia doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
you've got Original Power and Bushgrid doing stuff in the Northern Territories. You've got Solar Energy Group doing all the stuff in Cairns. You got guys fundraising, doing all kinds of stuff. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Doing more than solar is what I like to say.
Definitely.
So good. Well, I think you two both deserve.
We need that test finger award. It needs to be like a trophy or something.
I'm going to swap in my Goodwill trophy for one of them, please, John. Can you organise it?
I'll leave that to you guys to sort of. I'm having no part of it.
I'm raiding your car after this.
You won't find much. You won't find just a couple of cricket bats. Couple of cricket bats. That's about it. All right, cool. All right, well, I think that's come to the end of this part of the podcast, John. We're going to say goodbye to you. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for everything. Appreciate all the good work you're doing. I knew about most of this, but to actually talk about it and learn about it, well, I'll steal a line from, what's his name? Is it Johnny Utah no, it's not him. It's the other guy who does Patrick Swayze in Point Break. Yeah, the human spirit is still alive.
Yes, it is. Well and truly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, thanks for everything you're doing. You're making the industry look really good with what you're doing. I know that's not the reason you're doing it, but you just want to, but you still are. And that's a net benefit, I think, for you. And appreciate everything you've done. It's helping the community and just really nice to hear all those stories. So thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Thanks for
lovely
coming
to see you guys.
Thanks for putting up with me and always supporting our antics at 6 stars.
Pleasure.
No worries. All right, I'll send you a test finger as a thank you. So
sweet. I got to use it to turn off the lights to be open.
I can't.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, all right, we'll wrap this up now with John. Oh, we better get to our break. Lauren, we got some stuff to talk about.
Yes,
That's stuff that's been happening this week. So we're gonna have a bit of chat about that when we come back. Thanks again, John.
Cool. Thanks,
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be back in just a minute.
Hey solar installers, struggling to keep up with CPD requirements? At Southwell Solar Training, we're here to make it simple. Our online courses are designed to give you the knowledge you need without the sales pitch. With an affordable subscription, you'll unlock access to our growing library of technical courses, covering everything from inspecting older systems to spotting installation defects. Learn at your own pace, earn CPD points, and stay ahead in the industry. Join us today and start learning smarter, not harder. Visit www.southwellsolartraining.com.au and get your CPD the easy and affordable way.
And we are back. Before we get into it, can I just say how good Cherry sounds on those ads?
Yeah.
She's done a really good job of that.
She has done well.
I love it.
I know. She thinks she hasn't, but I think she's nailed it.
No, I love it. We should get her on here.
Yeah, I know we should.
Work in progress.
I agree. I totally agree. We will. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
We'll both work on it.
Done.
It's a good chat with John, wasn't it?
That was so fun. That was really funny as well. I think that was pretty successful.
Yeah.
That was my first guest that I brought on because we've had a few people in the pipeline.
Yeah.
So that was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, he was good. Really interesting. Didn't mind the slippery slope that we went down. He was okay with all that, which was cool. Good. Yeah, I just love all the community stuff they're doing. Yeah. It's just really cool. I know that's right up your alley too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good finding suppliers and manufacturers that can support what we want to do as well. And we have gone to other people and other brands, and it's not that they can't do it or they don't want to do it, but if you've got a really good relationship with someone, why not keep it? So, yeah, very lucky to work with the GoodWe team. Yeah,
for sure. They seem to be on to a good thing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Very good. A few things been happening this week. First thing probably want to mention is a little bit unusual. Got a tropical cyclone about to hit the Gold Coast and Brisbane. So we're recording this on Thursday. I think it's slowed down a bit today. It's about to make landfall, I think, late tomorrow or late on Friday. It's because it's slowed down a little bit.
Yep.
So our thoughts are with all those people in southeast Queensland at the moment and other parts of northern New South Wales, which are likely to be affected.
Be safe, everyone.
Absolutely.
Turn off your inverters.
So this is the thing I wanted to mention. Spoken to a few people who run businesses in Brisbane. And so Energex has come out and sent messages to all their customers saying, turn your inverters off because there's a problem. So I know one particular person who got 250 calls yesterday saying, how do I turn my inverter off? So Energex have sent this message out and these people don't know what to do.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, I mean, look, we don't know. We also don't know how bad this cyclone is going to be. I think last I heard, it's going to cross the coast as a Category 2, which is quite bad. And I heard some predictions that it could intensify to a Category 3 potentially, which, that can be
serious.
Quite destructive. And you're looking in an area of like 4 million people between the Sunshine Coast and northern New South Wales. So it could be really bad. We might be sitting here next week talking about a huge disaster. It's probably likely not to be that, and I really hope it's not.
It's not.
You hope with these cyclones that they're a bit of a fizzer, and we're like, we were worried about a lot, and it wasn't too bad. Let's hope that that's the case. There's probably likely to be a lot of flooding, other wind damage, and those sort of things. Now, but to tell everyone to turn their system off, I don't know. Potentially, it's an overreaction from where we're sitting at the moment. It's an overreaction. Who knows? Like I might be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I suppose for the DNSP to send that out and then...
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and then so this probably links into another topic we're about to talk about. A DNSP just deciding to act on something. They may be acting based on, advice from the Bureau of Meteorology or whatever it is. I don't know how much consultation there was with the Queensland solar installers because they're the ones that are going to cop the... They're the ones who are going to... Yeah, that's right. And they've got to put all these resources in.
Well, they really don't learn from each nation's mistakes, do they?
No, they don't. Because I know a few other DNSPs that, let's just say, industry consultation is not their strong point. And we've had a big week again with emergency backstop in Victoria.
Yes, we have. But before we do jump onto that, yes, thinking of all our friends,
absolutely,
Queensland, New South Wales. Hopefully, it's not as bad, and stay safe.
Yeah, I really hope everyone does stay safe. Yeah, mainly the people first. Make sure everyone can stay as safe as they can, and then we're thinking about property and those type of things, and hopefully it's not too bad. So
fingers crossed.
Absolutely. We're all thinking of you in Queensland. All right, backstop.
Yes, so big week.
What you've been involved in a few things this week.
Yes.
Much movement. Is it looking positive again?
I wouldn't say it's looking positive. I think we are at that point where we've made a fair bit of noise with it. So I actually definitely was not thinking that podcast that we did a couple of weeks ago was going to take off the way that it did. And I had a fair few people contact me. I know City Power, United, Powercore, I always get them. It's a bit of a tongue twister. They were quite hot on it. And they did come forth to us, as well as Matt Wilson, who was on the podcast as well. I know he's involved in the industry reference group. I'm actually not a part of it, but I just get dragged into it. And I'm more than okay to be dragged into it because I have been making a bit of noise about it. So we had a meeting with AusNet on Wednesday, and it was actually Bobby that set that up. She had a contact somewhere, and it was pretty much just a group of people in AusNet wanting to communicate with us. So in that, there was 4 of us. There was one from rural Vic, Matt as well, who's also, I think he's rural as well.
Yeah, he is. He's around central, I think it's around like Castlemaine type,
so they were
Ballarat Bendigo area.
And then there
Goldfields, whatever it is,
which is, I think, that side of Vic.
Yeah, it's on the west, and most of it's in Powercore, I think.
And then we had Christine Kennedy, she was on there as well, and myself, and it was really good. They kind of just opened up the floor to all of us and listened to what's been going on.
So AusNet listened to
which is really good. They definitely addressed some of the issues. They advised us of some changes that had been made after this podcast. Directly after this, there is an AusNet webinar. I believe it will be recorded. So if you haven't registered for it, just jump on their website. It might be somewhere.
Hopefully they can listen to the recording.
Hopefully they can listen to it. I'm sure I'll be in there taking notes like a mad woman and happy to pass that on. But that was a really positive session. I mean, didn't get a lot out of it, but it was just good to get maybe the right people in the right room that are listening and wanting to install the feedback and are engaging with us, which is really good. How quickly the changes or these issues get resolved, couldn't tell you. Hopefully less than 6 months, but they are listening. They're finally communicating with us, and AusNet have been quite quiet, I should say, or a bit MIA, and they've definitely expressed their apologies. They're having trouble with their teams and their systems and all that, like I say.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and that's sort of, I mean, just from where I'm sitting, this is just my personal view. Like, that's only going to take you so far. Apologise for all that sort of stuff. Like, you still got, like, we really need to see some tangible changes.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, listening. Finally, that's great. Let's all put that stuff behind us now. Our industry wasn't brought to the table at first. We know that's the case. I'm happy to sort of, let's just sort of forget about that.
Acknowledge that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll move on now from that. But I think we've got to be better now about the way we all move forward.
Yeah, it seems like they are heavily invested in trying to fix it. I just don't know how quick it's going to happen. Following that meeting, we had another one yesterday. Similar people in that meeting, and it was AusNet. It was all the DNSPs. That one there didn't feel like it was as positive. It was very DNSP heavy. I feel like none of us really got a chance to speak actually what was going on, and we got asked to. We all got asked to send through, I guess, dot points and concerns. What's been going on? Any issues? Not one of them were brought up in that meeting. So
that's disappointing to hear that's happened. Okay.
I mean, they definitely acknowledged some questions from our podcast. But yeah, it was very much them just kind of saying, well, this is what we've done and this is what is involved in the testing process, which is kind of what we already knew.
Yep.
But maybe it probably would have been a little bit more beneficial if they adapted a similar model as to what AusNet did the day before and said, all right, tell us what's going on. Let's run through. I gave them a few problematic NMIs that I've been having issues with.
Yep.
Maybe we could have run through that, troubleshooted it. No. So hopefully both meetings, they said that they wanted a follow-up meeting. Haven't got any requests yet, and I don't believe any of the other people in those Zoom calls did either. So TBC, they are definitely listening though, which is good. It seems like we're getting the right people in the right room.
Yeah. Have you had much to do with DECA at all? Not really?
No, absolutely. So DECA were also in that meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
But me personally, no.
I want to say something at the moment. Like, I feel like, I don't know, is it time to put them in the gun, if you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's a bit scary because it's, government, but is it time they sort of started to put some enforcement in and say this is an issue when we're listening to the industry and DNSPs have to do this by this time or this happens, and whether it's a financial penalty or whatever it is.
It has to be something. I think they've got to be, oh my gosh, I'm just kicking everything.
That's all right.
I think they just probably need to be held a little bit more accountable.
Yep.
It seems.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm sort of saying, because like the DNSPs can, whether they're reasons, excuses, whatever it is, they can come up with all this stuff, but if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So if DECA are the ones who can actually force that change, maybe they're the ones, I don't know, maybe we need to point some attention to them. Well, I don't know. Like it's
definitely getting to that point. I mean, this is released or implemented the 1st of October.
Yeah.
And this is the first
here we are in March.
We've had any conversations with AusNet about that issue. And like, how?
Yeah.
That's not right either. It's not fair.
Okay. I'm interested as well. Have any of the DNSPs acknowledged their shortcomings yet? Or are they more like, we're trying to do this is what we've done? Or have they put their hand up and said, yeah, okay, we've kind of stuffed this up a bit? Or have they not really done that yet?
Not directly.
Not directly? Okay.
A lot of them did bang on about other different projects they have been involved in, and, it will get better, and they're trying and they're working on their processes. And I completely acknowledge that. But maybe it is time just to go, we effed up.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
I would have thought so. Like and I think that would be received from industry much better if they sort of put their hand up and said, yeah, well, we didn't consult the way we should have. And I don't know, maybe it is, maybe they have done what they thought they needed to do, and DECA need to hold them accountable and they're the ones to blame. I don't know.
Yeah, but acknowledging it 6 months later,
I know, it's a long time.
It's a lot of turmoil for us to go.
Well, this is it. It's already, this is the thing. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
Something has to change. I actually had an experience last week where someone I'd spoken to had been, they knew they hadn't been connected to the grid. So what actually happened is they were installed in September and the installer hadn't got the paperwork done in time. Right, yeah. And then they're all of a sudden they're in amongst all this backstop stuff because of the paperwork wasn't done or the inspection wasn't done by the original inspector or whatever. Yeah. They were trying to sort this out and the installer was just like, they didn't really know where to go with it.
Yeah.
I referred this person. I said, you need to contact SolarVic because they're not going to want this type of thing, this type of issue in part of their program, attached to their program. So they can at least hold the installer accountable or whatever. But this guy was at his wit's end. Apparently the installer had tried a few times to try and do the testing and it's just been going on and on and on and on. Like you probably know about these type of things. It keeps going on and on.
Day in the life.
Yeah, that's it. I got a taste of it firsthand.
Yeah. And
this guy was like pretty much in tears to me on the phone. Yeah. I'm like going, I can't really help you. I can tell you where to go. But ultimately, this needs to get done.
Yeah. But hey, pass through my details. More than happy to have a chat, give him a chop out if he needs it, because I feel like I'm quite all over it.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy to help anyone that's having any issues with it, because it is quite tough. And I think I'm pretty resilient, but I know that things like this can really break people. When you take that much pride in your work, it is really sad.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Day in the life.
I know. Well, hopefully it's going to get better, but I feel like the last 3 podcasts we've been saying, let's hope it gets better.
Look, I think we're getting some attention with the right people, and that's definitely a start. We're making enough noise for them to go, holy shit. And it's like what Matt said, you've got these people that are out on the ground that want to help you. I want to give them, no offense, but as much bad feedback as possible, because I don't want this happening to anyone else.
Of course.
And
they need to know this, what's going on.
Absolutely. Yep. So I do my backstop and connections every Tuesday and Thursday. So I compile all the CSs that have come through in those last days, spend 2 hours doing it. So yesterday I pulled it forward because I knew I had the meeting.
Yep.
And I had all this data. This is what's happening. OEM's right. All this evidence. Not one of them said, how you going with it? Anything you want to bring up? I'm just saying, like we've got the information there. We've got everything. We've got why these things are failing or passing and all that. But just listen to us now. Now you've got a group of 4 or 5, 6 different installers in different parts of Vic having different problems, giving you different feedback. Use it. Honestly, use it. Take my brain. Take my phone. I will share my shared note with anyone in AusNet. See how it goes.
Hopefully they don't go through your search history.
No. I actually felt like I was drunk in that segment. I just stopped laughing.
Oh, so funny.
But hopefully it's going to get better. I'm going to keep saying it and shout out to everyone that's doing all the hard work on it, especially Matt in particular, Matt and Bobby.
Matt's been amazing. Yeah, Bobby too.
Really awesome. So happy to be their little soldier, happy to be
for sure
a messenger. So anyone that has any feedback or any cases, including NMIs and meter numbers that they want to share that I can present to these people, please let me know. Just send us an email, message us on Facebook, anything like that.
For sure. Well, yeah, I'm getting a few messages off people saying, yeah, you guys are like making a difference, and you sort of the experiences that we're talking about are the ones that they're experiencing as well as installers and those sort of things, and people working in admin roles. So hopefully it's making a bit of a difference. And even like as sort of Brad said last week, like he was saying it was therapeutic just to talk about this sort of stuff. Hopefully it's a bit therapeutic for listeners to be able to hear that all things are happening and, just to hear us chat about it as well.
I don't know. I think I would be able to share this now because by the time it comes out, it'll be okay. But AusNet now have this new feature, I guess, when you register an inverter on the OEM app, it automatically triggers the capability test.
Yep.
So this is where I was saying the other day that sometimes I'd go in and the capability test was completed and it passed commissioning. So that is a cool feature that has come in with AusNet. So if it's connected to Wi-Fi and it sets it or it successfully registers, it will automatically start the commissioning test, and hoping that everything's gone well. When you go into the portal to check, it should hopefully pass.
So will that speed the process up if that works?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, because we had this customer that was actually a retail customer, so we were able to set Wi-Fi up on the day.
Yep.
Turned it off, inspector came, turned it on, and he was all good to go. So because I knew Wi-Fi had been connected again, I set it registered the LFDI or whatever it is.
Yep.
And then went back in on the Thursday because I thought, there's no way in hell test is going to go through in one day.
Yep.
And then, so did that on Tuesday, went back in on the Thursday, and it passed commissioning, which was really cool. So it started to come through. It is going to be slow. There is going to be teething issues. There's already teething issues. So hopefully if everyone jumps on that webinar, won't hear it by the time this gets released. But still,
Okay, cool. Well, it's good to know that is a step forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was really cool. I thought, how the hell are these passing and commissioning? And I said to them, like, well, how come you haven't told anyone this? I'm just going into the portal and thinking, oh my God, the portal's cooked. It's, but I just didn't say anything because I'm like, it's passed.
Yeah.
Who cares? Go. I made sure everything was right on our end. And then, and I thought, all it takes is an email to everyone that's got an AusNet portal saying, hey, these are the changes we made. Blah, blah, blah. But lack of communication.
Yeah, I know. Well, speaking of communicating, like I may as well do it. If anyone from AusNet wants to come on the podcast, I'd be happy to facilitate. Like I'm going to probably drill you with some pretty hard questions, but I feel like these need to be heard by the industry.
Absolutely.
And we want to hear your point of view, like why these things are happening. Because at the moment, we're assuming it's mismanagement.
Yeah.
So if it's not, come out and tell us.
Yeah.
And be honest about it. Be transparent. So I want to offer that invitation to someone from AusNet, whether it's a phone call or you can come into our studio. Be happy to facilitate that. Be happy to do either. I think that would be very helpful to a lot of people and even to the industry.
City Power, Powerco and United.
Yeah.
I know they aren't as problematic, but it'd be good to get.
Be great to hear from them.
Absolutely. I'll chuck out a few emails as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if they are listening, because apparently they are listening to this. Yeah, good. Well, they can, more than happy to facilitate that.
Yeah, I didn't sink in my chair, but when we had the meeting the other day, they wrapped it up and said, we just want to address a few questions that we heard on a industry podcast. And then one of them jumped in and said, Lauren, that would be you.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, let's go.
Yeah.
Put my boxing gloves on, but no, it was really pleasant.
Yeah, well, it probably wasn't just another solar podcast because although that's more of a national focus, obviously, most of the time when they talk about that, it's Jess talking about how great the flexible export is in South Australia.
Yes, please.
Jess loves it. Hasn't been an issue. It's been smooth.
Oh, God.
Keep rolling out the postcodes. Keep them coming.
Yeah, well, it probably would be if it was managed that way and the teething issue. I mean, if you narrowed it down to, say, Berwick 3806, that would be very manageable. But on a
huge scale.
Huge one, and also 5 DNSPs.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, it's not all beer and Skittles because Nigel does get on there and tell them how crap the DNSPs have been in Victoria. Nigel has been saying it. And I have heard Carl, he craps on about heaps of stuff. He's been talking about how bad it's been too.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other podcasts, not just ours.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So I guess another big week.
Another huge week in the industry. All right. Is that it? That's it for news, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing I was going to talk about. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I might just a little touch on, not to get all feminine and everything, but tomorrow is International Women's Day.
Yeah, of course.
I'm actually a bit confused because my work's doing 2 different days, but tomorrow is International Women's Day. So shout out to all the legends, ladies in particular, in our industry that are doing good, having a crack, getting out of their comfort zone, stepping into a male-dominant field. You guys are awesome. You guys are killing it. Love it. Love your work. Keep going.
So good.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We need more of us, I think.
I agree. There needs to be more. I love that our industry is becoming more diverse. I think it's quite good. You don't want everyone like me, just a white, middle-aged male. You don't want that. Yeah, with a test finger.
With a test finger.
Yeah, you don't just want that, and then we're going to get the same outcomes because we're going to all be doing all the same things. So
exactly right.
Need to diversify.
Yes.
And industry's been a better place since there's been more females in it.
Mm-hmm. So celebrate
no doubt about
the chicks tomorrow.
Absolutely, I'll be celebrating as well. Sounds good. All right, very good.
Cool.
I think that's come to an end.
That's us.
That's a long one again. It's all right.
Yeah,
People can drive on it.
We cut it out and we get rid of the bullshit. I'm going to have so many.
I don't know. Might keep a bit of the bullshit.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Cool.
All right, well, I think that's it. Don't know what we're doing next week, but I'm sure we'll work.
Short week next week.
It is. We've got a public holiday Monday, so
yes, that'll be good.
This will be released probably just after that. And public holiday in Melbourne. So, and we're into autumn time. Weather has noticeably cooled off just a little bit,
which
is cool.
This week's been a bit nicer.
Been a bit nicer.
Hot though.
Yeah, nice, easier to sleep at the moment, which is cool. So, thinking of all you people in Queensland, hope you're all good, and everyone else. Happy solar, and see you on the next episode.
See you on the flip side.
No worries.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.